Good everyone, my name is Graphics. In this video, we want to solve a problem involving electrical circuits. We'll be looking at the circuit that is displayed on your screen. And the question is telling us to look for what? For the current flowing through the 20 ohms, which is given as what? Ix, right? So if you look at this circuit closely, you discover that we have 3 passive elements and 2 active elements. The 3 passive elements are the resistor of 5 ohms, the resistor of 20 ohms, and the resistor of 4 ohms. And 2 active elements, which is given as the voltage source, the independent voltage source, which is 75 volts, and the dependent voltage source, which is given as what? 10I subscript X. Now, if you look at this closely, we are told to look for the current Ix. So I'm going to label each of these points to be A, B, C, D, E, F. That is the loop we have there. And in this loop, we have 2 meshes. The first mesh, which is A, B, E, F, A, and the second mesh, which is given as B, C, D, E, B. Now we'll be considering them one after the other. Now in the first mesh, let's call it I1, right? So if it's I1, we assume the second mesh we'll call it what? I2, and we assume both of them are glowing in what? In a clockwise direction. So because of that reason, I will say because this is the mesh 1 having I1, then the current flowing in this part here will be I1, and this is I2, the current flowing in this part here will be what? I2, right? Now if you apply your junction rule, which is your KCL, Kirchhoff current law, at the node B here, right, discover that I1 is going in, so I'll call it positive. I2 is going out, I'm going to call it negative. I3 is going out also, I'm going to call it what? Negative. Everything equals to what? 0. That is what? The Kirchhoff current law. Now if I make my I3 the solid of the formula, I'm going to be having I3 is equals to what? I1 minus what? I2. That will be coming down this what? I3. Is that taken now? And this is the same thing as saying Ix. So my Ix is the same thing as saying my I3. Are we together now? So we'll start applying the mesh analysis to each of this mesh here. So we'll be considering mesh A, B, E, F, A, right? And when I bring that out, this is what we're having. This is my mesh A, B, E, F, A, right? The same thing we have there. So we start. We discover that current flows from a lower potential to higher potential, right? So making my voltage source 75 to be what? 75, positive 75. Now when current flows through a resistor in the same direction of my own direction, you see I am going in this direction and the current is also going in this direction, right? We'll be having a negative what? Negative voltage, right? So we'll be having 5 times I1, that will give us what? Minus 5I1, because we are going in the same direction as the direction of the what? Of the current. Is that okay now? Now we are coming down also here, which will give you as my what? My Ix, right? Coming down in this way and going the same direction. Come here, I'm going clockwise in this manner, and I'm going the direction of the current, right? So I'll be having negative voltage. So it will be 20, which is the resistance of the resistor there, times what? Times Ix, and that will give us 20, negative 20 Ix equals to what? 0. Now what we did earlier, we know our Ix is given as what? I1 minus what? I2. So I will now say that the 75 minus the 5I1 minus 20 in bracket I'll put I1 minus I2 to replace my Ix equals to what? 0. Now if I continue, my 75 minus 5I1 minus 20 times I1 will give you minus 20 I1 minus 20 times minus I2 give you plus what? Will give you plus 20 I2. Is that okay now? And this will be equals to what? Equals to 0. Now if you now collect like terms, right, you'll be having 75 minus 5i1 minus 20i1 give you minus 25i1. Then we're having plus 20i2. Now if I take minus 25i1 and minus 20i and plus 20i2 to the other side of the equation sign, I'm going to be having 25i1 minus 20i2 equals to what? 75. So this is what we're having here, because when you take your positive 20i2 to the other side, it becomes negative, and when you take your negative 25i1 to the other side, it becomes what? Positive, right? So I'm going to term that my equation 1. Now we move forward. We'll consider mesh BCDEB. Now if you consider it, we're starting from the point B, and if you notice it, we're going clockwise also, the direction of my current. Now since the current is going into the resistor there and we're moving in the same direction, we'll be having a negative voltage. So we'll be having minus 4i2, this 4 times the i2, so we're having negative. Now since we are moving from a positive potential to a negative potential, that is a high to a lower potential, I'll be having negative voltage also. So it will be 10ix. Is that taken? Plus, now we're not climbing up. Look at the direction. We're moving in direction like this, but we're not opposing the direction of the current, right? And that will now give us positive. So to be having a positive voltage, so we'll be having what? 20 ix. Is that taken? Now equals to what? 0. Is that taken? Now if I now rewrite this statement, I'll be having minus 4i2 minus 10. Change the ix into, because from the beginning we say i3 ix equals to what? I3, which is equals to I1 minus what? I2. So if I input this value here, I'll be having minus 10 into bracket I1 minus I2 plus 20 into bracket I1 minus I2 equals to what? 0. Now if we move forward by expanding this, I'll be having minus 4I2 minus 10 times I will give you minus 10I1 minus 10 times minus 10I2 minus 10 times minus I2 give you minus 10I2 plus 20 times I will give you 20I1, 20 times minus I2 give you minus 20I2 equals to what? 0. Now with what we have here, we will now take like terms. We discover that minus 10I1 plus 20I1 will give you 10I1. And also we have minus 4I2 plus 10I2 minus 20I2 give you what? Minus 14I2 equals to what? 0. I'm going to term that my equation 2. Now we'll move forward. We will now solve equation 1 and equation 2 simultaneously. So we'll bring them together. We'll be having this saying 25I1 minus 20I2 equals 75, equation 1. 10I1 minus 14I2 is equals to what? 0. That will be what? My equation 2. Now, because they are not similar, they are not alike, right? So we want to make the equation 1 equals to what? The equation 2. I'm talking about the coefficient of I1 in equation 1 to be equal to what? The coefficient of I1 in equation 2. How will you do that? You're going to multiply equation 1 by what? By 10. I'm going to multiply equation 2 by what? 25. These two are the equations of I1 in both of the equations. Now when you do that, multiplying equation 1 by 10, you'll be having 10 times 25 will give you 250 I1. 10 times 20 will give you 200 I2. 10 times 75 will give you 750. That will give you my equation what? Equation 3. Similarly, I'm multiplying equation 2 by 25 now. I'll be having 25 times 10 will give you 250 I1. 25 times 40 will give you 350 I2. 25 times 0 will give you what? 0. I'll call that my equation 4. Now still they are the same, but what? Both of them are positive. So you are going to introduce a negative sign just for you to equate one side of what? Of the equate I1 off. So if I introduce my negative sign, subtracting equation 4 from equation 3, I'm going to be having 250 I1 minus 250 I1 will give you 0. That is off. Minus 200 I2 minus that will become plus. That is plus 350 I2 give us what? 150 I2 equals to what? 750 minus 0 will give you what? 750. So the I2 will now give me 750 divided by 150, and that will give us what? 5. And the unit for current is ampere, so we're having 5 ampere. Now to get I1, right? To get I1, you are going to substitute I2 into equation 1. And when I do that into equation 1, I'm going to be having 25 I1 minus 20 I2 equals to what? 75. That is my equation 1. Now, if I put the value of I2 in that equation, I'll be having 25 I1 minus 20 into bracket I2 is what? Is 5. Equals to what? 75. So we'll be having 25 I1 minus 100 is equals to what? 75. Because 20 times 5 will give you what? 100. Now, if you do the needful here, you discover that your 25 I1, the 100 will go to the other side to now become positive. Minus 100 to the other side of the equal sign will become what? Positive. So we're having 25 I1 is equals to 75 plus 100. So 25 I1 will now give us 175. So if I divide both sides by 25, my I1 will now be equals to what? 175 over 25. So I1 will be equals to what? 7 ampere. That is 7A. Now that means I1 is 7A. But what is the I2 here that we have here? What do we have as our Ix? Our Ix are same as saying our I3, and that is giving us what? I1 minus I2. So your Ix will now give us I1 is 7, I2 is 5. So 7 minus 5 is 2 ampere. So my Ix is equals to what? 2 ampere. So the current flowing through the 20 ohms is Ix, and that is giving us what? 2 ampere. And this is what we're asked to look for. And sometimes you might be asked the voltage drop. Just multiply the current times the 20 ohms resistor there, and that'll give you what? 40 volts. Is that taken? So if you actually found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and also share the video. Thanks for watching.